this is it. This is what it's all been building up to. My chance, my moment. So you are about to take a free kick in an under-7s ADHD Portuguese set 4-5-a-side match. I'm gonna go for it.
O Barreto chuta a segunda bola para tirar a bola do Cebolinha. Pênalti pro Flamengo.
É desconhecimento da regra do Barreto, né?
For fuck's sake, I told you Ronaldo was washed, that little pagan, bro. And now I'm not scoring a goal, all because of this washed up. How's he done that then? He's done it from a different country. Yo guys, it is your boy, nauseatingly nose-mangled Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, lads, Joe Biden ain't running for US president anymore. The dream is done. It wasn't a dream. It would have been a nightmare as well. And let's be real, he forgot to sign up before the deadline. I've signed it. So you have written it on the table next to the piece of paper. Bro witnessed the first human man. He was there, all right? You can't have a man that old as a president anymore. Yet he's still 5 years younger than Roy Hodgson.
You know, let's not take the piss here.
So the Euros may now be done, but there's still international football being played for us to sit down and watch. But I wouldn't blame you for not knowing though, because they marketed it like it's round 3 of the Scottish Cup.
Number 4!
There's no Team GB at these games though, like there were in London 2012. And honestly, it's probably for the best. Kyle Walker in those Olympic villages, it's a nightmare. He'd have a 6th ring in front of him in no time, I'll tell you that for free. Not back shots again, Kyle. He would treat that thing like it's Love Island. So obviously I called you over to the fire pit to get that camera out my face. Meanwhile, Jack Grealish will be struggling to communicate with the athletes at the top of the medal table.
春节看大戏。
I don't know what that means.
But there are still World Cup winners Argentina in attendance. However, they lost their first group stage match in dramatic fashion. They were 2-1 down, scored an equaliser in the final minute of 16 in injury time. Not that a TV broadcaster actually knew how much injury time there was going to be, seemingly. That was given. That then caused crowd trouble, which saw the game abandoned for 2 hours before referees realised that the goal had actually been offside, chalked it out, and then made them replay the final 3 minutes of the game, only for Morocco to still win behind closed doors. This poor Argentinian teenager fell out of the crowd for no reason whatsoever. Did VAR sleep through its alarm or something? What's going on here? Because the players were getting very volatile waiting for the video assistant ref to make its decision.
What are you doing, you daft bastard? Taking fucking forever.
Coming back and playing 3 minutes 2 hours later, that constitutes as a second leg, mate. Rodrigo de Paul had been happy with his countrymen over on Twitter, but that didn't really age all that well. The guy who makes the VAR decision must have gone to lunch or something. That's the only way that I can justify this decision. Yeah, so obviously I went and got 5 guys, and I got a meal as well. Am I right? Hey, we've been waiting, bro. All of us, all of the assistant refs, the players, they've been waiting for 2 hours. Wait, lads, should we just start chanting about France or something just to pass the time? The fans, they're outside of the stadium still. This is an absolute disgrace. What, you went for food without me? Oh, listen, babes, I didn't mean it like that. I'll never do it again. You better not. What, you'll shake on it? I'll 5 guys milkshake on it. First of all, that sounds crazy. Second of all, can we just make this decision? Guys, it's been 2.5 hours. Do you think that referee from AFCON would have come back and played the rest of the game? He'd be halfway through airport security by now. An absolutely crazy situation there, though. It's got to be said. France, though, were off to a winning start in their first game. So it does seem unfair having Alexander Lacazette in what's effectively an under-23s tournament.
Get off the bus, no! Get off the bus!
Oh my gosh, what does it look like?
Meanwhile, for Michael Elise, and he would much rather have been involved in the Euros, and he's telling all the girls that he knows that he won't be dealing with any of this rubbish Olympics football for much longer. Now, Elise reportedly almost joined Chelsea over the summer, and his compatriots from the Blues took a picture over on Instagram that got people talking.
I remember looking around and I'm like, Allahumma barak, like, I've never seen so much black people in one area.
It's a lot of the French members of the squad and no Enzo Fernandez in sight. This one taken on a flight, I'm guessing, towards their pre-season tour, in which, in fairness, there were quite a few players missing because they've been, playing at tournaments over the summer. But what you can't see is Enzo at the back of the plane, trying his hardest not to let his true thoughts out. This in the same week for Enzo Fernandez, where he was honoured by his former side River Plate. The reason they give him that honouring is a little bit suspect. By the way, during this, I saw people saying that I overreacted in the video that I, put out, and obviously that the French players in question had. But you had the entire stadium full of River Plate United fans doing this chant. But listen, my stance is going to stay the same on it. I don't care what anyone says. But it does show the actual reach and the influence that he does have and why it's important for these guys to actually be role models, okay? And Enzo Fernandez ain't doing a good job of that off the pitch either, as he could be facing a ban from the roads for a driving infringement, racismo and a DUI. What a week, man. Plus, it's only Wednesday. This brother's going to report back to Cobham with an entire criminal record. Conor Gallagher, meanwhile, will not be impressed when he walks back into the dressing room and sees that Enzo Fernandez has taken his racismo role in the team.
There he is. The fella who nicked my job. Didn't nick it. Nah, didn't want it anymore. He begged for it. I didn't.
Meanwhile, for Nicholas Jackson, and he'll be left exacerbated when the rest of the black players in the dressing room don't agree with Enzo as well.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
On the pitch, though, and things aren't going much better, as in a pre-season friendly, Chelsea drew 2-2 with Wrexham, in what is most likely a disappointing result for Wrexham, I can't lie. Things got feisty early on here, because scrapping was clearly in Levi's genes.
Your trousers are funny, fam.
As the young Chelsea centre-back Levi Colwill got himself in an early scrap with James McClean. Look, nothing silly early on here, alright, okay? It's pre-season, I just want to know how everyone's going to match up. Just make sure at all costs you stay on the pitch. Yeah, no, I'm done. Alright, listen. Alright, look, first of all, Cole Palmer ain't got his GCSEs, what? And now you're scrapping. I get Pochettino back. Wrexham fans were feeling pretty aggressive when they saw Robert Sanchez in between the sticks for Chelsea. Fuck off, you Spanish cunt. Meanwhile, is this a sign of things to come for the Blues again this season, given a potential dressing room divide at the club? And after all this money spent, Todd Bowley will be crying looking at his wallet after drawing with Deadpool's under-23s. Now, elsewhere in pre-season, and Jadon Sancho is back at United under Erik ten Hag. Apparently, the two have settled their differences after a disagreement that saw Jadon return back to Borussia Dortmund on loan last season. Either way, Jadon will be a bit sheepish getting back to Carrington for the first time. Listen, bro, you're back in the manager's plans, man. We made it out of the hood, bro. Wait, hang on a second. Why are you picking up that NOS canister? Why are you phoning your dealer? Oh, man, now, please don't get behind the wheel of the car as well. You're gonna go out on loan again, brother. It's not gonna... That's more competition now for Brazilian wide man Anthony, and he'll be getting increasingly aggressive, asking Erik ten Hag to put him back in the starting 11.
I'm asking you, give me that. I kindly requesting you. I'm asking you last time, give me that.
Either that or he's going to have to pass a practical exam and actually show Eric on the training ground, but genuinely, I don't trust that man in a 1v1, let alone an 11v11. As for the rest of the side, Mason Mount will now be trying to keep up on the counter-attack with a pacey Jadon Sancho back into proceedings. It's not been smooth sailing for Liverpool in pre-season either, as we lost the championship side Preston in a friendly. And it's fair to say Arnie Slot was a little bit distracted down on the touchline as Liverpool were fucking it up completely. Trent Alexander-Arnold watched on as the result was occurring, losing to a side down in the second tier. He saw the result and had to pretend he was on the phone when one of the club's directors asked him if he wanted to sign a new deal. And all more crazy results in pre-season over in Germany. First of all, as Bayern won 14-1.
14? Jesus is love!
They beat FC Rottach-Eggen in a absolute demolition job. Now, that might sound like a crazy result, but I think it's some kind of tradition for these two to play each other in pre-season, because they have done many a time before, and the results have been even more wild, on occasions winning 27 and 23-0. And you know what that means? Vincent Kompany's absolutely fucked it. This is a massive underachievement. What, letting these lot score? They went to the pub before and after the game, mate. They can only dream of being window cleaners in their actual jobs. And it's going to leave Harry Kane realising he ain't winning a trophy again this season. Eric Dyer was feeling emotional, diving into the crowd when Bayern fans were giving him grief for conceding against PE teachers from East Germany. As for Vincent Kompany down on the touchline, and his assistant had a little bit of advice for him. But listen, man, I'm not going to lie. We've conceded, and I genuinely think their right back is partially blind. You're going to have to use your head, big man.
And what I would like to see is Lacazette drop down so it's kind of a false nine sort of area. And then he links up to a four-pronged triangle.
Yeah, I guess it's difficult to find a good idea because there's a lot of head to use. Pause. They did, in fairness, score a goal every minute for 4 minutes back-to-back in the first half. And in fairness, at the end of the day, they did score 14 by the end of it. But still maybe some small issues for the Belgian to iron out. And after all, it could be worse, eh? It could be Borussia Dortmund, who lost 4-0 to a team from Thailand. 4-0 is crazy in this situation, by the way. They got battered, peppered. And partially thanks to Karim Adeyemi, who had a golden opportunity with the game still at 1-0. This isn't a sitter. This is a stander of a chance, alright? Because when you see it get missed, you have to stand up and leave the room. Rename him immediately. I want his slander name on the back of his shirt. This is a team that reached the Champions League final last season, by the way. Jude Bellingham's going to be absolutely petrified when they get drawn against Pathum United next season. Speaking of the Galactico, and Real Madrid announced that they've hit $1 billion in revenue. $1 billion, you know, and no tactics to speak of. The power of friendship has earned these lot $1 billion quid. I'm fuming, realising that just having mates hasn't made me a billionaire. On the topic, honestly, Carlo Ancelotti's got some serious explaining to do to Kylian Mbappe in the next tactical meeting. Alright, boss, obviously, we're 1-0 down. I think I can do more. Do you know what I mean? Do you want me to drop deep at any point? Or do you want me to stay on the shoulder of the defender, make some late runs in behind? What are you thinking? Honestly, Kylian, as long as you're happy, I don't mind. Boss, whilst I appreciate that, I kind of need some guidance in this situation. If Kylian Mbappe is a system player, then it's game over from this point onwards. You better learn Chinese, buddy.
人少风景好的小城上哪儿搜？小红书。好吃不排队的餐馆上哪儿搜？小红书。
But I'm sure he did still contribute to a lot of that revenue, and Jude Bellingham will be gutted realising he wasn't the one to take Real Madrid to $1 billion in revenue, but Kylian Mbappe was instead. Kylian got his own suite inside the Bernabeu. With this sort of revenue, he could get his own stadium, for fuck's sake. Have Barcelona even hit 1 million in revenue yet? If I'm a Barca fan, by the way, he's seeing that they've raised 300 yen from new camp seat sales. I'm ready to commit it.
You actually feel a little bit sorry for them.
But at least Barca have got some kind of money to splash about, as they brought in Mamadou Ibra Mbappe, a young centre-back, on a permanent basis. The 21-year-old was on loan at Barca's B team last season. He's made that move permanent. Though I can't lie, the rest of the dressing room are going to be fed up of Hansi Flick when he claims that Mbappe is better than Mbappe.
Do you think you could spare us the bullshit for 1 minute?
These two have got to go bap for bap next season in El Clasico, and they'll both be startled when they come across each other in the starting 11 next season. Meanwhile, if Barcelona want any other signings this season, they may have to rely on third-party contributions, as Barcelona fans were physically donating on a Barca stream in order to help them sign Athletic Club winger Nico Williams. So obviously, Nico had an unreal summer, a key member, a key part of the Euro 2024 winning squad with Spain. Having him and Lamine Yamal in the same squad would be distracting as hell, honestly. They're both children. They'll be playing match attacks down either wing. They're signing players off of super chats, guys. Nico Williams to Barcelona for 300 tier 3 subs. Here we go. We are one financial lever away from a GoFundMe page, lads. We can't let them keep getting away with this. And on the theme of Barcelona, it's not such a great time for one of their other wide men, Ansu Fati, who was once the chosen one out of La Masia and Barcelona. He is injured again to start the new season. Terrible timing for the youngster, but it really does raise some questions of what his body's actually made of. So at least him getting injured for about 3 seasons back-to-back has given Lamine Yamal his moment in the sun at Barca. They've dodged the bullet on that one. This guy's got a black card for the physio room, like it's a Netflix subscription. The club's interested in him these days after his injury record not as good as they used to be.
Harrogate, Hull, Grimsby, Lincoln, Doncaster, Rotherham, Barnsley, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, the poor guy. I actually feel bad for him. When a girl asks why he didn't make it pro, he doesn't even know what injury to reference. ACL actually can't list all of the injury. I mentioned Hansi Flick earlier, and the new Barcelona manager is happy with the state of the squad and how fit it is, especially the players coming out of La Masia. Yeah, no, child labour. We're about to see the maddest sweatshop you've ever seen in Spain. Over at Real Betis, and former Arsenal right-back Hector Bellerin had his say on women's footballers' pay, suggesting that realistically it should be equal pay. He just wants equality between, you know, male footballers and female footballers, and they don't earn enough. Hector, I know your game. You've seen the new signing for Bournemouth's women's side, and
If you like ladies football, clap your hands.
he only wants women's wages to be equal. I believe they should be paid more. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, this would, yes, of course. There should definitely be equality in terms of pay, in terms of interest, in terms of, you know, payout, sponsorship, transfer fees even, which are still criminally low, all of which really in the beautiful game as far as women are concerned. But that just is, unfortunately, economically the reason why it's not the case. There isn't the sponsorship, there isn't the actual revenue in women's football yet in really any league whatsoever. The Women's Super League, the Women's Champions League, La Liga Femenina, like none of those leagues rake in anywhere near as much in terms of TV revenue or in terms of sponsorships, unfortunately, as stuff like the Premier League, Bundesliga, whatever. So until that money is actually generated by those leagues, it then can't be handed out in terms of wages. It's not necessarily football associations or federations that are dictating that women should be paid less, although they've had a part to play in not actually giving it the attention that it deserves up until about 10 years ago. That's the reason. It's just behind, unfortunately, in terms of being established professionally and in terms of just natural natural revenue. That will grow. It will happen. Hopefully there is player quality, but women's football right now is where the men's game was probably in England like 30 years ago in terms of the timeline. So naturally it's just going to lag behind in terms of earnings as well. But I sincerely hope that Hector's vision comes true soon. Elsewhere in Spain, Marc Cucurella has dedicated to a new haircut after a promise that he made before the tournament and Spain's win at Euro 2024. This man has completely lost it since he's been on ketamine ever since. So I can't lie, I feel like I've seen this new look before. And honestly, the barber will have been wanting to end it all when Mark did his 17th rendition of the Paella tune from the barber's chair. Elsewhere, Atletico winger Memphis Depay was distracted, to say the least, over on Insta Live.
Somebody's messaging you. Huh? What are you doing live with that nigga? Huh? Somebody. Sheesh.
Look at him staring at the bunda.
And there may have been some distractions going on at Athletic Club too, as they managed to score a ridiculous own goal in a pre-season game just 1 minute in. Meanwhile, one new import to Spanish football could be Sheffield United forward Oli McBurney, who has allegedly agreed terms to join Las Palmas. This is one of the most rogue signings. This is a FIFA career mode transfer. Him versus Wayne Lineker's gonna go crazy on the Ibiza Strip next season. I love it. This is a game plan from Oli. He's gonna retire, open a nightclub, and then get hideously sunburned on the beaches. I love it. Over in Italy, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic's son has signed a professional contract with AC Milan. Man, I feel so old. What needs to happen, though, if he's really like his dad, is he turns down that contract and then signs for their bitter rivals like Juventus or something. And Zlatan will be watching at home, proud of his son's decision-making. That's my son! And speaking of football families, Kefren Thuram recently joined Juventus. He will, of course, be playing alongside his brother Marcus Thuram in Serie A, though his elder brother, of course, will be playing for Inter. But Lilian Thuram is very happy that Kefren's joined Juve and took this wholesome picture of him holding his kid as if he was a child for the press release. One man moving from Italy, though, is Riccardo Calafiori, who has all but confirmed leaving Bologna to sign for Arsenal. That after his girlfriend confirmed it in a breakup message on an Insta story. Arsenal might be massive now, you know. Juventus wanted this guy, and now we've got a girlfriend, Fabrizio Romano revealed. She went viral for man-marking Calafiori away from a female interviewer last season when Bologna qualified for the Champions League, and I can't lie, that man-marking this season hasn't gone all that well, clearly. And the man's got braids now. He's done one set of negotiations with Arsenal, and he's become auraless. On the topic of transfers, and Kevin De Bruyne may well be on his way out of the Premier League, as he's rumoured to be wanting to join Al Ittihad over in the Saudi Pro League, retiring at 33. It's peak out here. But at least he's already getting himself prepared for a new culture and a new life over in Saudi Arabia. Mashallah, brother! This man ain't making it in that sort of heat. I refuse to believe that a ginger man can play over there. And he'll be left fuming when he's denied SPF 300 because it simply hasn't been developed yet.
I'm getting sick and tired of everyone making fun of red-haired people.
Whilst De Bruyne might be heading out, one man heading into Manchester City is Brazilian winger Savio, who's joined from fellow City group side Troyes in France. He said that he's always loved Man City growing up as a youngster. This is the Man City that he actually loved. He was back in urban Rio de Janeiro watching Stephen Island. Now, to be fair, he's a young kid, so but they might have been actually good by the time he was a kid. But the actual situation is signing very, very controversial indeed. They got him for a cut price deal from a sister team, basically. Almost got relegated back to back. And he never actually played for Troyes despite being their record signing. It's a messy situation. Elsewhere in the UK, and Danny Drinkwater is a builder now. He posted on Instagram, loving the grind, basically, of a house that he was working on after retiring from football. Though he will be left a little bit drained when he realises that N'Golo Kante isn't on the building site to do all the running for him. It is actually his own house, I'm pretty sure, that he's working on. But he's already done more for that than he did at Chelsea in his time there, so fair play to him. Now, last week, there was the news that Gareth Southgate would be stepping down and resigning as manager of the England national team. Well, that job opportunity has been opened up to the public. Yeah, I don't really know what the average man in the UK is going to be able to do here, but it has been opened up to everybody. Slap that on your Snapchat story and you'll be confusing anyone you speak to. Give it Goldbridge till the end of the season, in my opinion.
Look at him! Someone punched the twat!
Now, Castor are making kits for Everton this season, and they've had controversial times with Newcastle and with Aston Villa in the past. So they'll be hoping for a nice, easy, positive start to life with, no major stories as far as their kits are concerned. Well, that was until they made a kit where the Everton badge falls off after about 20 minutes of a pre-season game. These lot are shit. Meanwhile, Premier League new boys Ipswich Town beat Shakhtar Donetsk in a friendly as well. Not even letting them win during a war, by the way. That just seems unnecessary. Over in Germany, and Leon Goretzka has endured a physical change, let's say. Pictured a couple of years ago looking like this, and to the present day, look, listen, he's aged 15 years in about 3 months.
He comes back, he's got muscles on his ears, ya Allah, muscles on his ears. All the symptoms of steroids are all over his face.
Yeah, the hair loss, the rapid hair loss is this guy was on the roids back in the day. He's run out of inhalers, let's just say. At this rate, he'll be looking for a move to Galatasaray in the summer.
No hair will ever grow on his head again.
Elsewhere in Germany, and Toni Kroos linked up with the saxophone guy from the Euros to raise money for charity. Lovely stuff between both of them. There wasn't much charity going on at FC Heidenheim as the European new boys won a friendly 20-0 this week. Meanwhile, in France, and there's been some devastating news for a former giant of the nation. FC Bordeaux have decided that they will not be renewing their professional license for the new season. They'd already been relegated forcibly from Ligue 1 to the 3rd division of French football due to financial problems, and that has now developed into a financial crisis after FSG, the owners of Liverpool, decided not to buy the club. They've done it because they could have actually ended up with worse repercussions if they'd not voluntarily given up their professional license, but it does mean that the club is, well, it could well be done, like completely, like not exist anymore. It probably will return as a Phoenix club in like the 5th or 6th division, but they have had to terminate the contracts of all of their players. So my heart goes out to their fans. Honestly, I will never forget the Marouane Chamakh and Johan Gourcuff days. But now it's time for your goals of the week. I've got a treat for you this time. We got 4. First of all, we head up to Scotland where Brandon Forbes, on his senior debut, scored a beautiful free kick for Dundee United.
Oh, what a goal that is. It's a wonderful strike. Brandon Forbes.
We're staying in the British Isles now, but south of the border and south of the country as well, down at Portsmouth, where centre-back Riley Towler has picked up the ball and realised that he's not really getting pressurised maybe as much as he was expecting to. No high press, which has allowed him to step into midfield and then step into attacking midfield and then step up even further and score an absolutely delightful goal. Over in the Czech Republic now, and at a side called Sigma, I can't remember the second half of the name, I'll put it on the screen. We've got a ball getting floated into the box before some beautiful acrobatic technique. And finally, over at Nagoya Grampus in Japan, a corner routine that has resulted in a disgusting volley. Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
And his name is John C.
Yeah, probably a yellow, mate. Are you taking a fucking piss? And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now over in Brazil, and there's the beautiful news for Neymar, the birth of his second daughter. Brazilian legend has of course spent the entire season pretty much injured, but off the pitch it's at least nice to see this for him. 9 months though after the birth of his first daughter. But given a pregnancy takes 9 months, bro said no breaks whatsoever, you know. In the Netherlands, and Feyenoord have announced a new badge, and get ready guys, because it is a massive, massive change from the previous.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Yeah, no, it's the same fucking thing. Some random graphics designer just got paid $7 grand for this, by the way.
Easy money. Free money.
Call this double Dutch because it's literally the same fucking thing. I mentioned the Olympics earlier on. The US are competing footballing wise as well, and for some reason have made their graphics over on Twitter make it look like their players, well, yeah, rest in peace, bro. Brother died. The intern has opened up Canva and done something absolutely terrible. We'll kick him off the PC. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your Martin Adam update. You may remember this man who I accidentally made go viral at Euro 2024 because he looks like he could rip a tree up with his bare hands. And I say bare hands because they're probably the size of a bear's hand. He is a legend. He's an unbelievable man. And he signed for Greek club Asteras Tripolis. So congratulations to Asteras Tripolis for winning the Greek league. Over in Brazil now, down in the 4th division. I guess technically another contender for goal of the week, really. Because late in the day, a goalkeeper has gone forward for a corner. It's been cleared away at the first attempt, but he's not giving up. They need a late goal. Take about their goalkeeper, who has pulled out a disgraceful bicycle kick. It's like he does it every week. Effortless stuff. Over in Turkey, and what, you ain't got a TV to play FIFA on? Don't worry about it, lads. Just get the side of a building and project it onto that instead. Fuck's sake, I'm just trying to watch EastEnders. Why is someone doing an SBC on my wall? In Norway, ridiculous scenes going on between Rosenborg and Lillestrøm, where a game was abandoned due to fan protests, with tennis balls and pies being thrown onto the pitch. That's because both sets of supporters were protesting against the use of VAR in the Norwegian top flight, and to combat that, they threw fish cakes onto the pitch. I'll be honest, that was would work on me. If there's a fish cake flying in my direction, I'm getting out of there. Wholesome stuff over in Croatia, where Ivan Rakitic has made his return to his boyhood club, Hajduk Split, and his fans were welcoming him back in explosive fashion. Meanwhile, over in Indonesia, been a little while since we kept up with these guys, we got an ambitious shot straight from kickoff. A KO shot that has KO'd a man. Closer to home though now, and at Swansea, their new goalkeeper Lawrence Vigouroux is vigorous with his new skill moves. Yeah, that's probably the least necessary thing I've ever seen on a football pitch. Everton have been linked with an Ecuadorian player for £7.5 million this week. The same player who was involved in a brawl and ripped a corner flag out, attempting to stab his opponent. He'll fit right in fairness, so it's all calm. QPR faced off against Tottenham this week, and Heung-min Son took time out of his day to chill with the mascots and, you know, have a conversation with them, make their days. This QPR fan at the front, though, give him a season ticket, completely unfazed, head in the game, doesn't want to discuss anything with the opponent. In Singapore now, and I can't lie, it's rare that we get a clip, but a goalkeeping ability is just as horrific as the original striking ability. These lot, I mean, a goal's been scored, but it really cancels out the Howlers, to be honest with you. Meanwhile, back in the 4th division of Brazilian football, and this own goal here is a bit of a miscommunication, it's fair to say. The own goals keep coming though, this time over in Tanzania, where a lovely team goal is being put together. Genuinely, it's nice passing play, and then just finish it off absolutely yeeting it at a defender's shins. I mean, whatever works, you know. At Sao Paulo though now, referee send him off. In Argentina, we've got one of the worst pictures that I have seen this season. It looks like somebody's cross-stitched it. It looks like a Pro Evo 6 pitch. In Honduras now, and a long, hopeful ball forward has gone better than the free kick taker could have ever imagined.
The top, over the keeper, over the line, unbelievable goal!
Shout out to Djurgården manager Kim Bergström, who's probably got one of the most wholesome shirts that I've ever seen a manager wear. He's a simple man. He just wants his cats to be loved. In Georgia now, we've got a substitution with a little bit of spice attached. Want to get away from the sun? Just slap a chair on the top of your head. I'm sure that'll stop it from blasting down on you. Meanwhile, spare a thought for Kazakhstani champions Orda Bazi, who have travelled probably the most of any team in the Champions League, definitely this season. A 9,686 kilometre round trip from their home in Kazakhstan to face a side from Luxembourg. I really hope they get the win, because all that travelling, it better be worth it. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football, and look, we've highlighted a lot of incompetence amongst attackers, amongst defenders, amongst goalkeepers in the history of this segment, but it's important to note that the incompetence is spread amongst everybody involved in the world of Sunday League. Most notably, the referees sometimes. As a ball has been played back by a defender towards his goalkeeper, it's been intercepted and the attacker's been brought down. Surely a free kick or penalty if it's inside the area, but I don't think it was. Well, no, you'd think wrong, because the referee decided to consult the linesman, who gave him as offside, even though it was a back pass from the defender. Yeah, just call off the game, lads. What the fuck are we doing? On to the weird stuff, though, now. Well, first of all, we've got the return of a former England international at the age of 43. Gareth Barry made a name for himself playing for Manchester City and Aston Villa over a long period of time during his footballing career. Well, he's returned to a village side called Hurstpierpoint FC in the UK. I don't know what he's even been doing up to this point, truthfully, but either way, he's decided to make a return, and I do wish him the best of luck down at the lower league level. But finally, over in Norway, in a game between Sarpsborg and Brann, the game is drawn at 0-0 with 5 minutes to go. But a Sarpsborg player down with cramp physio João Ferreira, and with that, the club's physio João Ferreira was ready to spring into action and treat him. However, he came onto the pitch without permission from the ref, who then duly gave him a yellow card. Ferreira couldn't believe it, and so argued with the referee, saying it was unjust, to which the official then gave him a second yellow card and sent him off. A physio was sent off by a referee this week in Norway. No wonder they're protesting about VAR. And the poor guy still got cramped to this day. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.